It goes without saying, but COVID-19 changed everything. A lot of things that brought us together are having to be forfeit purely for safety. Parties, birthdays, weddings, funerals, religious holidays, and so on, all important cultural rituals that we've built a large part of our lives around are currently off the table. We really aren't built for isolation, so it's no wonder a lot of people are feeling it right now. For me, as a trans woman with a chronic health condition and a weakened immune system, this has meant I've been staying inside as much as possible. Aside from going mad from not having seen anyone I love since December of 2019, this has meant I've had a lot of time for games, among other hobbies, which has been nice, but it's also been weird. I do consider myself an extroverted individual, and given that, you'd think I would typically be more drawn to social games like MMOs. While I have been playing a shit ton of Final Fantasy XIV with my good friends, as well as some other online games, I can't stop playing Nintendo's semi-recent masterpiece, Breath of the Wild, and it makes me very, very lonely. But makes me reconcile loneliness like no other piece of art does, but in a way that invites hope and courage rather than despair. However encouraging it may be though, loneliness is still loneliness. It begs me to ask why? Why in this time of social isolation, deluges of bad news and yearning for a better time am I drawn to lonely art? Paradoxically, the lonely sense I get from Breath of the Wild might just be exactly what I need right now, and if you would indulge me, I would explain why. Deceptively, Breath of the Wild features a Hyrule barely holding on to life. People are surviving rather than thriving, despite the lush landscape and ecosystem. There are towns and villages, but they are few and far between. The game is also about a great blight sweeping the land, breaking it apart and causing people to hole up and rarely risk stepping outside of safe walls. Despite this, the people of Hyrule are kind and welcoming, if more than a bit depressed at the state of things. It's a world half dead, and there's pieces of infection everywhere, but life carries on still. It may seem on the nose to compare that with the way the world looks right now, but subtlety is for cowards, and I ain't no bitch. In between it all is Link, a Twinkie amnesiac looking for a way to continue a mission 100 years in the making. Link is a small dude, unfamiliar to the land around him and lost both to and within it. Whatever memories he had are once buried away within the world itself. He crosses huge swaths of grassy plains and forest and desert as a complete loner. From a bird's eye view, he'd be a tiny speck on this map. Hyrule is vast and injured and rotting and beautiful and terribly, terribly lonely. Walking the plains of Hyrule, with your quarrel ever present on the horizon, instills a sense that perhaps this is too big for one to handle. If Link couldn't beat this at the supposed height of his power, how is he possibly going to manage it now? It seems a fool's errand. But courage never came from doing anything safe. Perhaps this is the feeling that brings me comfort during this isolation, that even though the situation is dire, I can still have the courage to face each day. Breath of the Wild may be lonely, but it is an encouraging loneliness. As you progress, you find more and more allies, both old and new, and though you always have to leave them to face Ganon alone, they're always with you in one way or another, and ready to help when the moment is right. The music, or lack thereof, reinforces this feeling of being lonely, but never being alone. It's like the land itself is saying hello and wishing you well. There's a certain reverence Breath of the Wild has for the land of Hyrule itself, as its herald, Zelda, continues her century-long struggle against the blight that threatens it. And I think the music somewhat speaks for this. In a sense, it's not just you and Zelda against Ganon, it's the world itself versus a calamity that threatens it. Depersonifying Ganon lends well to this, as not even your enemy itself has a form as such. At least when Ganon is a person, you can see and communicate with him, you can envision and personify your quarrel. Calamity Ganon allows no such privilege. You're just a small guy against a potentially world-ending plague. And you do what you can. The silence feels piercing as you traverse the wilds, but just when you might start to feel the size and scope of this landscape is too much, the soundtrack perks in again, like a whisper from the wilds themselves, from whatever force opposes the evil that threatens to destroy the sad beauty Link traverses, to refocus and realign yourself. Unclench your jaw and relax your shoulders and stretch your wrists, hero, lose sight not of your goal. The empty space is daunting. The broken forts and abandoned houses are a reminder of what has been sacrificed, the sky is boundless, and the forces of decay are unrelenting. It's terribly lonely out here in the plains of Hyrule, but despite feeling lonely, I never feel truly alone. Hyrule speaking to you through the soundtrack, the small number of people traveling the roads that you strike up a conversation with, the voices of your distant companions, forever serving as a reminder of why you take each step. It brings me a lot of comfort in this time, and though sometimes I may feel lonely, I know that I'm not alone. All we have to do is keep our eye on the horizon and take it one magnificent view at a time. So, hi everyone, there is a lot more of you than when I made a fresh account to post that one Akechi video, and a lot of you saw it, and a lot of you liked it. And I'm really grateful for that. Thank you so much for all of the really kind comments. I found them all super encouraging, and I was also a little scared of the comments before I realized they were all nice, because there was a lot of them, and I thought they would all be mean because of how controversial the character in question actually was. So hey, we now have 100 subscribers on this channel. Well, a little bit more than 100 because this video is a little late, but still, I'm really amazed by all of this very sudden support and growth, and I hope to keep making content that you guys enjoy. Cheers for the support, everyone. Thank you very much. You can follow me on twitch.tv/MaxPoetic to catch me when I'm live on streaming. That's kind of my main platform. And you could also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/MaxPoetic. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the other things that the YouTubers say on this stupid platform. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.